Welcome to A Dash of Life podcast, where every episode brings you a touch of spirit, a pinch of passion, and a zest for life.
Hi, welcome to episode 11 for A Dash of Life podcast. This episode, we are going to focus on time. I will say that, you all probably hear me talk about we don't have time. We don't have time. And that we may live long, but life's moments go by just like that in a flash. And before we know it, we get to the end of our dash, our life, and maybe have not fully experienced life as we would have liked it. So, the point of today's episode is to give you all some tips, some information, some things that you can do to live fully present in your dash of life, as well as giving you that pinch of passion so that you can live a fulfilled life while you're here. And again, we cannot take time for granted. We do not know when our time will be up. And more, we are seeing younger people pass away. And so we cannot take our time here on earth for granted. All right, I can't wait to get into this with you. And again, thank you all for your continued support. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel so that you get the notifications. And let's get on to this time journey for A Dash of Life podcast. All right, so if we are going to live fully present in our dash, in our life, right? We have to understand that time is a gift. Our life is a gift. And we have to acknowledge that life is finite, right? There is a specific amount of time that we are allotted here on earth in our human form. However, we don't know what the allotment is, right? And so when we have specific things that are going on in life, we cannot take it for granted. And we have to acknowledge that there's an end to this, right? Now, that doesn't mean be fearful, right? It doesn't mean that we need to fear our time that we have on here, right? We cannot focus on when we're going to die or when we're going to pass away. The emphasis should be on being present in the moment, acknowledging that we only have a certain amount of time. This ride that we have, this journey that we are on, has a specific time length, and we can't spend our time, living in the past, not doing things that we want to. And I'll get into all of that. But our first step is to acknowledge that our time here on earth is finite. We have to fully understand that life is fleeting. Life's moments are fleeting. And we can't take that for granted. And have to embrace living in the present moment. I talk about it all the time. I talk about it all the time. Live present for today. The past is done, and I'll get into more of that too as well. But the past is finished. You can't change it. The future hasn't happened. So you shouldn't be there. Like, you can plan for the future, but be present in today for what today is. All right, so let's unpack this and get into how we can live fully present and have that pinch of passion for life. All right, so one, we have to cultivate that awareness, right? I talked about it a little bit already, but we have to have an awareness that we are only here for a certain amount of time. But we have to embrace that and not be fearful of it. We have to allow it to let us and to inspire us to live fully and to cherish each moment that we have and experience throughout our lifetime. And how do we embrace it? Is, we have to reflect regularly on what's important to us. What do we want to do? What truly matters to us? And when we focus on what truly matters, that gives us a little bit of a roadmap, if you will, to how we can live our life, with passion. Whether it's relationships, experiences, things that you want to do. So keep that in mind as we walk through this. What experiences, what purpose, what relationships do you want to cultivate throughout your lifetime? And be intentional with it too. Uh, Another way that we can do this is by practicing gratitude. Being grateful for your blessings that you have in life, being grateful for the people that you have in your life, being grateful for your experiences will certainly allow you to experience that gratitude or show that gratitude. If we have an understanding that our life is finite, then we have the ability to even look at the small things and appreciate some of those small things. Doesn't necessarily have to be materialistic, right? But if we take the time to practice gratitude for the little things, there's joy in that, right? There's joy in that. And, if you're going through a difficult season, we all have it. We should all expect it. Life is not a bed of roses and flowers and spring and always, right? We always do go through these cycles. And so if you are in a difficult cycle right now, what is it within that cycle that you are learning? What is it that you can appreciate that might be one of those small things? I woke up today. I am healthy. My children are healthy. I have a roof over my head. I have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful, handsome husband, who is grateful for me and treats me well. It could be anything. Like, it could be very simple as I woke up today and I'm breathing on my own. And when we look at those smaller things that we sometimes tend to take for granted, it surely will allow you to have that gratitude just for the blessings of each day that you achieve or that you receive. I talk about this frequently, but we have to live completely free without regrets or worry. And this goes back to, am I tied to the past or am I anticipating a future that is not here? When you live regret free and worry free, then you are giving yourself permission to be completely present in the moment. Again, talk about it frequently. The past has already happened. You cannot change anything that has already occurred, right? And if you had an opportunity to do something different in the past, in hindsight, then take that information and use it to change moving forward. But you can't stay back there. You can't stay in the past. You cannot stay tethered to the past. I talk about it all the time. Because when you are doing that and your mind is in the past, then you are not fully present here. And then the same thing, worrying. How many of us worry? I am not going to take myself out of that. I do worry and I try to be cognizant of it. However, we're human. And when we can't see things, we get uncomfortable. So, how can you live fully present and not worry about the future that hasn't happened? It's not even occurred yet. So, why are you thinking about it? And this doesn't refer to how we plan for the future or anything like that, but worry pulls us into an uncertain future and robs us of our current moment, our current present moment, and the energy that's attached to it. And so, if you are a worry wart, or you're somebody that is always thinking about what's going to happen in the future, reset, pull yourself back to the present, and give yourself permission to be completely present in today, in the moment. That allows you to stay in the reality of the moment as well. And remember that the present is a gift. The present moment is such a gift. And a lot of times we are not happy, we are not joyful because we're too busy worried about what's going to happen, or we're worried about what already happened that we can no longer control. So think about that too. Don't allow these regrets or these worries to rob you of your joy of today or present moment. All right. So another thing that we can do is engage completely in the moment, in today, right? Give yourself full attention to whatever it is that you're doing. If you're working on a task, if you are at a birthday party, if gone out to dinner with friends, allow yourself to be completely and fully engaged in the moment. That creates deeper relationships. It creates a sense of full connectivity to what is going on, and it creates those deeper, richer experiences. If you allow yourself to be fully present and engaged in a conversation, or an experience, maybe a trip or something, then everything, including your senses, your mind, is completely present and available. You might have a friend who is struggling with something, or you might have, a new experience going on. But if you're thinking about the future, or you're thinking about work, or, you're thinking about the next thing, and you're not here, then you are robbing yourself essentially of a more deeper connection or experience. So think about that as well. We tend to not be completely present in the moment, and maybe don't even realize it. It's not anything that we're like, oh, I'm going to go to this, but I'm going to be worried about something else while I'm here, right? It's not like that. Like, we're not planning these things, right? But it's just something to think about when you are at these functions, or you're somewhere, to be fully engaged and present. Phones. How many people carry their phones all the time, are always looking at their phone? Put the phone up. Put the phone up. It's so crazy because, like, we are so dependent on our phones nowadays, and they're not always helpful. They are distracting, and I'll get more into that too. But keep that in mind and allow yourself to be fully engaged in the moment. I do want to talk a little bit more about the phone. The phone, the phone definitely provides an avenue for distraction, an avenue to pull us out of the present moment. All these notifications, if you continually get notifications on your phone, you are not present. You are all over the place. You are here, there, here. Oh, here's another one. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Here's another thing. Scroll, scroll, scroll. So put some parameters on your phone usage when you are engaging in other activities. Put it on DND, do not disturb. If And you can set up your phone to the point where if you are out and your children are home by themselves or whatever, that they can send you a soft message that will come up while it's on do not disturb. But allow yourself and set those boundaries and compartmentalize activities, right? So that you aren't constantly being berated with notifications, distractions. And I don't know, I'm really not a fan of the iPhone, but when I switched, I have noticed this when I switched from my Android to my iPhone, I definitely got more notifications. So I do compartmentalize, and I put my if I'm reading or if I'm writing or something, my phone is on do not disturb because it's just distracting. And I like to try to be fully present, when I'm writing or when I'm reading. And a lot of times I will say when I'm reading, I have to like reread a passage, just because I've thought about something else and I am not fully present in the text in that moment. So I will go back and reread it to make sure that I have a full understanding of what's being said. So keep that in mind about your phone. Put it on D&D. Give yourself permission to step away from it. If you are on call or something, or you have to have it with you, then that's different. But hopefully that you allow yourself time and set those boundaries so that you can escape from that for a little bit. Another way that you can fully be present and appreciate time that we have here is to keep your life simple. I think we tend to overcomplicate our lives with trends and things like that. But keep life simple. Keep it as simple as possible. Get rid of distractions and unnecessary obligations that steal your time and energy. I talk about it all the time, and I'm really not going to talk about and get into too deep with boundaries, but this is where your boundaries come in, where you are not overcomplicating your life, trying to please others, or overcomplicating your life to, keep up with the Joneses, uh, whatever it can be, whatever it is in your eyes. Do what you can to keep your day simple and not overcomplicated. We like to be important as humans, but a lot of times none of that stuff matters if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. None of it matters. So keep that in mind as well. You're special, but you ain't that special. Joy. I have in my bathroom a picture that says, "Today I choose joy," right? And it's intentional. Like you have to be intentionally pursuing joy every single day. Man, we have a lot of difficulties out here, but when you intentionally pursue joy, you have the best life ever. It doesn't matter. The sky could be falling, but if you are intentionally seeking out joy throughout the day, you have the best life ever. Doing things that are joyful to you. I say it pretty much every Friday, but do something that you haven't done before. Um, you have so much of a better experience in life if you just keep pursuing new things. And I don't know, for me, it's like discovery, right? The joy that comes with discovery. I talked about that last episode for travel. But when you consistently pursue joy throughout the day, it just gives you such a lighter experience with life. And I feel like it really does give you that passion that you're looking for. And just keeping life light. We have to keep life light. Also, to that effect, don't allow others to steal your joy. Men, there's some joy killers out here. There are some thieves, some thieves. Um, there are people, what do they say? Misery loves company, right? But there are people who intentionally don't want to see you happy. And, stop being around those people. Don't allow them to steal your joy. There's no reason to allow somebody to impact your mood throughout the day. Although it might be difficult, what do we say? Not today, Satan. Not today. But think about it on that lighter side that today I am not going to let anybody steal my joy, no matter what is said, no matter what is done. Not today. Yes, stay away from people that steal your joy. They'll pilfer just a little bit at a time too. If you allow them, don't allow them. Don't allow them to do it. What else? Oh, like you can volunteer or provide service to people. When you do that, you have such a more deeper connection that you can build with people. If you're volunteering, you have a different experience throughout life. And there might be something that is really important to you that that you are very passionate about. And when you volunteer, that just gives you such it gives you such a different perspective on life. Whatever it may be that you're volunteering for. Most of the time when we volunteer, it's to provide a need for somebody else, right? But it gives you a little bit of a different perspective on how people live, the challenges that people are facing, just even providing that help to somebody. And they in return reciprocate that, or they're grateful for it, just makes you feel really good. So if you have the opportunity to volunteer or provide a service to somebody or serve someone, and it doesn't have to be like with an organization or something. It could be something as raking your neighbor's leaves next door or something, something like that, like paying it forward some way, paying a child's school lunch fees. I came across that one time on Facebook where it said instead of buying that, take a week, instead of buying that Starbucks coffee or buying the coffee for somebody behind you in line, call your local school and find out if there are a student or a couple of students whose lunch accounts are suspended because they don't have the money, and use that. Make a difference in someone's life. So keep that in mind as well. This is very important for me. And, as I continue to walk through this journey for A Dash of Life podcast, I do for sure try to keep, a touch of spirit within this podcast. And for me, it's very important. But another way that you can live fully present in life and take advantage of the time that we have is to create those spiritual connections and to stay spiritually grounded, right? And I feel like when you start your day in like meditation, or you start your day reading the Bible or the Quran or something like that, when you start your day that way, it just sets the foundation for the day, right? And you're intentional about whatever comes my way is not going to impact me, right? I've already started my day on a good note, on a calm note, being present in the moment. And so it allows you to reset throughout your day if you need to. And when you do that, you have a sense of peace, right? And those feelings of gratitude give you that sense of peace, right? So just keep that in mind too when you start your day from a spiritual perspective or spiritual action, that it can help you maintain your peace throughout your journey and throughout the day. Spending time with quality or spending quality time with loved ones doesn't necessarily have to be family, but I'm a big family person. I love to spend time with family. Regardless, everybody's family has issues, right? So regardless of the last year's argument or whatever, we have to keep that in the past and take full advantage of the time that we have here in the present with our family. Could be friends. Your friends are family, right? Uh, a lot of times you have those deeper connections with your friends than you do with your family. So it doesn't have to be like on a holiday. You could spend time with your family, like create a game night, do a sleepover, do Netflix and chill and pizza. It does not have to be a special occasion or a holiday for everybody to show up. And when you do that, you're creating such a deeper connection, but you're also creating lifelong memories as well. And again, no one knows when our time is up. And so when we create these memories and these experiences, I feel like we are taking full advantage of the time that we have here in this earth. Uh, One of my favorites, of course, is spending time in nature. And I will say, y'all already know, if you listened and watched the travel one, I'm not a camper. Not to say that I won't do it, but man, there's too many bugs and stuff, right? And there's too many animals out there. However, it might be a really good experience. But anyway, my favorite, spend time in nature. You can walk some trails, do some hiking. Of course, go to the beach and just sit next to the water, get those negative ions, and just have just that alone time, or with family, friends, close friends, loved ones. Those also to provide an avenue and the means to be completely present. I'll tell you, I'm a completely different person when I'm at the beach, and it just has such a calming effect on me, that I try to pursue it frequently just to enjoy what I'm seeing, the environment. What am I sensing? Hearing the waves crash, putting my feet in the sand, just practicing mindfulness and being present in the moment. Certainly. And I don't know how my daughter and I used to go hiking all the time, and just the scenery that we would see on our hikes would be amazing, but also just having her and I being connected in that day or in that moment was amazing. You can also, I don't know if people like to call it this, but you can also create a bucket list. um, I guess there was some controversy about calling it a bucket list, so I'm going to offer up some suggestions of what you could call it. Um, and I wrote these down, so I'm going to have to read them. But maybe a wish list or a fulfillment file, adventure log or journey journal, something like that, something fun where you are listing things that you want to achieve or listing activities that you want to do throughout your life, and then just keep checking them off. Listen, we have one life to live, right? Um, and we have to make the most of it. I'm not saying go out there and be, oh, yeah, I'm not saying go out there and be neglectful or reckless, but once you understand that time is limited, then you'll be more intentional about some of the activities that you do. But, if you take a moment, and your list can change, you can add stuff to it at any point in time. Grab a friend, somebody that you love to spend time with, family member, sister, brother, it could be anybody. Grab them and have them do the experience with you. And you have so much more of a deeper connection, and just a different perspective on life when you experience new things. You could also do this with your significant other too. We're not going to leave them out, right? But make sure that they like to do whatever it is that you are trying to do, right? Because then it'll be miserable. But I don't know. Let's see what else. You could learn something new. All right, and I know we're coming up on time, but what also you can do is like reflect on your legacy, like whatever it is that you want to leave as your legacy. Think about that, make decisions on that, and that will make you more intentional about how you live life and how you do things. And then lastly, do things that make you laugh and have fun. We are supposed to enjoy this life, and we can't let things just steal our joy continuously. Now, we might go through some hard times, but just overall, in general, throughout your life, how has your life been? How have you spent the time that you've been allotted thus far in life? And, what changes can you make moving forward? So I thank you again for joining me for episode 11. And I hope that something in this episode has resonated with you. All right, take care. God bless.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of A Dash of Life podcast. I hope today's conversation added a touch of spirit, a pinch of passion, and a zest for life to your day.